Hi, I'm Greg Wurth.
And I'm Lisamarie Costabile.
We're here at the NAMM show in Anaheim.
And we're here for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth. Hi, this is Lisamarie Costabile for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth, and today I'm with Mike and Jon Russo, who were the inventors and innovators of Dynamount. I have to be honest, guys, this is one of the most amazing things I've seen in a long time, like crazy super technology.
Thank you. Yeah, we're here showing off. We have 4 new models of Wi-Fi controlled microphone mounts, so it's a huge time saver, great tool for all professional and amateur recording artists.
And so your brothers, obviously, did you start in the music industry as musicians, or?
Yeah, we both played in a band together for many, many years. I also ran a home recording studio, and actually it was my frustration with recording my own band, recording the guitars, my frustration with finding mic placement, wanting to experiment, and then wanting to get back to that original placement. It was just impossible, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. And then the idea just started developing over the years. Mike started taking an app class, needed a final project, decided to make one of them for fun. It worked. We did some investigation. Nobody was making these things, so we said, let's go all in. And that's where we are today.
That's pretty amazing. So are you trained musicians, or did you go to school for it?
I'm a drummer, so kind of a musician.
Okay. And so that's wonderful that, you know, your brothers, you get along, you growing up together, you're working together. Your mom must be super proud.
Mom's proud. I don't know how we have our brotherly issues. That's a given though. But it seems like when we both agree on something, it's probably a really good idea. So that's where the chemistry is.
Well, that's great. So do you want to give me a little bit more detail on the mics and everything?
So this model has dual axes and rotation, so you can go front to back. We can go side to side, and this model also has rotation capabilities. And then I can press the first preset we saved earlier so you can see how precise it is in getting right back to the original position.
Okay, what does it come with?
So we have free apps. We have a Chrome app, which runs on PC or Mac, and then we also have an Android app and an iOS app that will be out any day.
That's great, and I hear also you're getting tons of press.
Yep, it's been a very busy show for us, which is great.
We love that. We love boys from San Diego. You know, Greg's from San Diego.
Really? Yeah. Born and raised? Or?
Yeah, so you guys are representing well here.
Thank you. Proud to.
Thanks so much for joining us. This is Lisamarie with Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth. And today I'm with Mike and Jon Russo for Dynamount, and thanks so much for hanging out here at NAMM.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Greg Wurth for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth. I'm here with my good friend Mark Storm at Electro-Voice, and they just released some new microphones, and he's going to tell me what they're all about.
Right on. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for coming by and seeing us. Well, we couldn't be more happy about showing off our brand new line of EV ND series microphones from Electro-Voice. And again, you know the story. We've been doing this for 89 years. We'll celebrate 90 next year, right? And we started out making microphones, and we take great pride in the fact that we're a great American company that makes world-class microphones, and we thank you for using them as you do. But let me show you a few details about the new line here. We have a total of 4 handheld vocal mics in the line, and the series is ND. And then we also have 4 instrument microphones in the line, so for both drums and instruments and any kind of acoustic instruments at all, we have a full mic line for that. But we'll start you out with the vocal mics. You're familiar with the NAMM 767A. Been around a long time, a fantastic mic. I mean, it really was. But we did build it 20 plus years ago, right? And PA systems in the meantime have changed a lot. So those mics were really good at the performance of a PA system at the time. We've only improved on them. With modern technology in PAs, modern technology has to come to microphones also. So we invented the humbucking coil in 1932, later adopted in the 50s by Gibson and guitars, right? We all know what that does. Well, we reintroduced the humbucking coil in the entire ND line, right? So we're going to eliminate that electromagnetic interference that could happen when you're running cables across speaker cables or power cables, right? The capsules on the entire line are based on the RE320, which you have experience with. You know all about that.
I love the RE320 very much.
So we use that same capsule technology for the entire NDIME line. So it's a neodymium magnet structure based on the RE320 capsule, humbucking coil, and then kept all the great features from the NDime line, as in low handling noise, off-axis rejection, very high gain before feedback, all those important things, but we improved upon them with the new voicings and things like this. So taking you through the line, the first vocal mic is the ND76. Now I would say this is a small to mid-size club type microphone, tuned for the inherent problems that you can have in that environment. Very small stage, musicians very close together, and smaller sound systems. It's very hard to get the vocals to be popping in the mix and get out front where you want them. So the voicing on the ND76 provides that at a great level in a small to mid-sized club scenario. You can use it in anything, and again, mics are like a little bit like ice cream flavors. People like different ice cream flavors. It's okay. You can use this in a stadium or arena. That's fine. It's whatever makes your voice pop in the mix. And that's so important about finding the right microphone for yourself. So we also made a switched version in case you want to switch. If you want the artist to have accessibility to be able to turn that off, we added a switch. That's also the ND76S. Then moving up, the new in the line is an ND86. Now this is what I would call my big arena stadium microphone. Same reason as a small one. Big arenas and stadiums have acoustics and tunings in the room that we catered to with this mic, so it would work really good on a large format PA, right? And again, you're getting unbelievable transients in the entire mic line, and that's so important. At least we feel it is, capturing all the frequencies and all the nuances and all the dynamic of what's being captured in the mic. It means the world. And these have faster transients than our old NDime by a long shot. And they just did a great job. And we built these from the ground up. We took really nothing from the NDime line and just transferred it. Our engineers in Burnsville, Minnesota designed and engineered these entire mics from the ground up to be the best they could. The next one in this line is our loud stage microphone, okay? You can tell by the very flat top that the voice and the tone will be right next to the capsule element itself, right? That means a lot more gain before feedback, right? It's a lot hotter microphone. It's a loud stage. So this is a microphone for Zakk Wylde or Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, right? Marshall stacks behind you, blaring loud, acoustic drummer hitting hard. You don't want all that bleed coming into a microphone. So it's a super cardioid pattern. The tone source is right on top of the element for unbelievable presence and gain. It also has a voicing switch on it to roll off some low end in those high, loud environments. There you go. Imperative in getting that vocal out front in the mix, right? So incredibly featured, very affordably priced across the entire line. And we didn't give up things like memory flex grill. You can drop the mic from 3 feet and bounce, and it will not dent the grill. We feel that's important. We put a nice badge on it. We feel these are keepsake quality instruments for artists. They should hold on to these and carry them wherever they go, right? All right, then moving into the instrument mics a little bit. We have the ND44, which is a cardioid drum mic with an integrated clip. And Greg, I'm going to have you hold this just for a sec. And with a single finger, you can just literally pull it off a drum. Very, very easy, as we put a finger hook in here, which makes it incredibly easy to latch onto a microphone and get proper positioning. We also made the head pivoting so you can actually get the tone you exactly want and very minute adjustments to whatever you want to do, all right? Cardioid capsule. Then moving up from there, you're familiar with the 468. It was like the egg-shaped in a yoke type situation. Well, this is the new version of that. This is a super cardioid. Again, humbucking coil, capsule of an RE320. The bigger body gives it a little bit more robust sound than a very small format. Just depends on what you want. Great, perhaps snare tom mic, something like that. Low tom, floor tom, things like that works very good. It just depends on what your drummer is used to seeing and avoids hitting. But it's a super cardioid versus a cardioid and a very robust thing. Now the cool thing, is go ahead, push the button, and again you can adjust the angle to many multiple directions to get exact placement where you want. Makes an amazing guitar cabinet microphone also, right? And that adjustability is really nice. With the flat head, go right up against the grill, okay? Now here's a cool one. You're familiar with the RE200 end address condenser. Well, this is the next version. This is the ND66. And what we did here is make a super high quality condenser, electret end address condenser. But we know the problem with putting a condenser on a hi-hat, right? Maybe you have a cymbal right above it. You've got no room to put something like that up and down. So we also built in the tilt feature with locking notches to be able to position it any way you want, okay? We just find that's what artists need. That's what guys like you need to get their proper miking position for the proper sound. We also build in a 10 dB pad or a 20 dB pad, depending on if the sound source is really loud, you might not want to knock it down a little bit. And I also built in 2 high pass filters, one at 80 Hertz, one at 150 Hertz. So it's tools. It's selecting what is right for your scenario today. Really proud of that one. And then the new version of the 868 is the ND68. Again, modern drum sound right out of the gate, humbucking coil, but amazingly voiced. Amazingly fast transients about capturing everything that's happening in that moment. So there you go, Greg. There is the full lineup of the new ND series microphones from Electro-Voice. What do you think?
Thank you. I can't wait to check these out. I think that there might be a possibility for a giveaway down the line, maybe.
Exactly correct, my friend. I'm going to load you up for your show. So you've got some fans out there that are going to win some of the brand new ND series microphones from Electro-Voice. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Lisamarie Costabile for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth, and today I'm talking to Mark Luffman, who is the owner of BAE. But I don't know if some of you know, Mark is also an accomplished musician, and he put out a new album that just got released, right?
Yeah, Jan 9th. We did a gig at the Viper, and yeah, I've got one here if you want one.
I do. Greg and I were at the Viper Room with the release. It was a release party, right?
Yeah, we did a release party. I mean, it was kind of sponsored by BAE. We used BAE gear, so I kind of rode the coattails of that a little bit. But yeah, it's called Bleeding Aura. Now, any of the English, or should I say, Northern English, they'll probably get the reference. Other than that, you know.
What is the reference then for us Americans?
It's a saying, bleeding Aura, but one of my mates went, "Are you saying bleeding aura?" And I thought, well, yeah, that's kind of cool. So we spelt it that way.
Cool. And so what are your music influences? I mean, I think I met you and I knew you through working with Greg with BAE products, but what are your influences as far as music? Like, go way back when you were a kid. What happened?
Well, one of them's just sadly passed. David Bowie was kind of the biggest influence. 72, Starman was out. I got in trouble for liking a guy with lipstick off my parents. But, you know, that was a major influence. Him and McCartney, same era, you know, 70s. So, yeah, there's like 9 songs on there that are completely influenced by a melodic, you know, rockish kind of situation. I don't know what you call it, Brit rock, indie rock, but it's influenced by Bowie, McCartney, and yeah.
Of course, McCartney. That's Beatles, Greg's favorite.
But that's the saying, the McCartney's Wings was my biggest influence because he kind of stepped out of the Beatles type of thing to be a bit more of a rock band. And so, again, it's melody. I love melody, but in the rock venture, therefore, that's kind of hopefully what this is like.
Right, and what instrument do you play? I don't even know what.
Well, my main instrument's guitar.
Okay.
I did dabble with a few keys and bass on this one, and the gob iron. I played the gob iron on this.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what the gob iron is?
No, I don't actually.
Well, even Warren did
I
it.
know I've seen it, but you know.
It's Warren who co-produced it. It's a northern term. It's a harmonica. It's a term for the harmonica.
Yes, I've seen.
A gob, because that's your gob, you see.
Okay.
You got a lovely gob, by the way.
I always say Mark is just, he's the coolest cat out there. I want to be like him. Every time I see you, I'm like, I so wish I was a British rock star. You make me want to feel like that.
Thank you, very glad.
But so back to your music. When you're working in the studio? I mean, does it take you a long time to write songs? Do you start with the lyrics? Do you start with licks with your guitar?
Well, on this one, because it's kind of, I did it over a period of time. I cut the drums on one day because we needed the big space, and then after that, sporadically, I went back to Spitfire Studios. Started building the track up from there, and once you get kind of a structure, then the melody will come to you, then the lyrics come to you. So yeah, I kind of do it that way. I'm not like a poet that does the lyrics first and I write a melody around it. I do it the opposite way.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah. And so do you work by yourself or do you work with musicians?
I don't know whether I can't collaborate because no one's asked me, but I tend to work better myself because I don't know, if you listen to some of the words, I don't know if they'll work in, I don't know, in a commercial sense or anything like that. But yeah, it's kind of a solo endeavor, and therefore, of course, I have to do it on my own.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much, Mark. I always come by Mark's booth at BAE at NAMM, and you're just, like I said, he's the coolest dude ever. Do you have a website? Do you want to plug any?
Well, the BAEaudio.com, and then the music page is just markluffman.com, and that's the spelling there.
Great. Okay. Well, cool. Well, this is Lisamarie Costabile for Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth, and we're here at NAMM. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Cheers.
All right, so we're here at the BAE booth with Mark Luffman. Talk about what they have here at NAMM.
Okay, so I suppose the newest thing is the 10DCF, which is a cousin to the 10DC here. 10DC stands for 10 Series Dynamic Compressor, 10 Series Dynamic Compressor with a filter. We call this a bypass filter because rather than it be just a side chain, you've got a selectable low frequency filter that it just won't compress. It's almost like it's the 182 card from a 1073 in reverse, essentially.
That's great. That's an awesome feature for modern style recording, right. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, the drums, for the bass, but for anything really, you just want to allow them frequencies through. That's kind of what it does, and it's musical as well because it is inductor based. You can definitely feel the knee before the cut kind of thing.
Great. What else do you got?
We've got this 1066D, which we've always had in the 10 series format and the 19 inch, but now we got 500 series. Likewise with the 1023.
That's awesome. And and I saw you guys have the EQ. I have not tried that one.
Well, the B15, that's pretty new. We had that out at AES last year, but yeah, it's a 3-band transformer balanced, Jensen transformers again. So yeah, and they were up for a Tech Award for the 1073 MPL.
Congratulations.
It's quite pertinent.
Well, thanks for showing us this. I got to check out some of this new gear.
Yeah, come on by.
I think I know where your shop is.
Cheers.
Hi, this is Lisamarie with Inside the Studio with Greg Wurth, and today I'm with Dave Morrison of IsoAcoustics, and we're talking about the Aperta. Now, that's the Italian pronunciation. Now, where did this come from?
Well, Aperta is Italian for open, and it refers to the open design of the shape, the stand itself, but also the sound clarity, the openness, and the sound clarity that supports and produces.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, I know Greg has this in his studio. Want to explain it a little bit in more detail?
Yeah, the Aperta, like all of our stands, has a high degree of isolation with 2 layers of isolators joined by a coupling in the middle. But the way the stands work is that the top flange acts as a suction cup, so the top frame is live with the speaker, as the bottom frame sits on the supporting surface. So we actually bias the isolators so they stay in alignment, and that's where we get the sound clarity. By changing the shape, thickness, and geometry of the isolator, we actually manage the way the speaker responds, and that's where the sound clarity and openness comes from. So all the Aperta line of stands have got an adjuster built into it, so there's up to 6.5 degrees of tilt that can be either tilted upwards or downwards, and there's gradations in there so that you can match it on both sides. It just simply slips back together,
And Dave, why don't you tell me, how did you get into this business? Are you a musician or?
Well, actually, I worked for 20 years for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and I had a senior role in the design of the Broadcasting Center that was the center of the English network in Canada. And this really came out of kind of a personal quest to find. I realized there was nothing on the market that allowed you to adjust position and manage the movement of a speaker. And this is really the genesis of the stand.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. Wow. Well, we love it at the studio. I mean, not only does it make the speaker sound better, but it looks fantastic.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me, Dave. And this is Lisamarie for Inside the Studio. Thanks so much.
Thank you.